Do you ever feel stuck trying to learn a new riding skill? You try to understand the concepts, but you just can't seem to grasp them. Can you really learn how to learn? What if you could learn how to better improve your skills by just learning how to learn? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. You're watching the weekly show from the ECK Network. I'm Juliet. I'm so glad to have you here. Today, I was inspired to do this video because of a book I'm reading by Gordon Wright. This book is full of so many great things, from just understanding horsemanship to understanding how the horse functions, and really great reading for riders who sort of just want to kind of build on their basics. And from my learning and development background in the corporate world, I really fell in love with this idea of learning to learn, or how do people actually learn best? And that's why I was so excited when I saw this chapter from Gordon all about learning how to learn. My first takeaway from this chapter was that we actually learn very little and very slowly after the age of 12. Now, why that is because kids tend to have a lot less on their minds. As adults, we're thinking about our grocery list, what we have going on at work that day, the house chores that need done. Our brains are so full. Kids don't usually have that. They're able to sort of focus and be in that moment with the horse. So because of that, the key takeaway from this is that we should focus on one immediate objective. So instead of trying to focus on what lead you're on right away in the canter, make sure that you're riding the rhythm. Just feel the rhythm of the horse and see what that feels like if you're just learning to ride the canter. If you are just learning to ride the trot and you haven't quite picked up on your diagonals yet, get the feeling of the trot and then worry about your diagonals. Focus on one thing at a time. This actually leads into the second takeaway from this chapter, which was look up. New riders especially tend to get really caught up in what's going on underneath of them, what the horse is doing, if they are on the right lead, if they are on the right diagonal, that they tend to not look where they're going. And as riders, it's such an important skill for us to be able to look around at our surroundings. So like when we're at the horse show, we can be safe. Even when we're in a lesson with another rider, we really want to make sure we're able to look at our surroundings, make sure there's not something that the horse could possibly be looking at. So look up and feel what your body is doing. This can also help you really hone that skill of feel. It's something that we talk a lot about as riders, but it's sort of this ambiguous concept. And doing just a simple skill of looking up so that you're not looking down and you're just sort of honing that feel is a great way to move forward and learn new skills in your riding. Takeaway number 4 is to focus on one thing until it becomes automatic. I think this is a great example still for this, is your diagonals. So making sure that you're posting on the right diagonal. If that when you first start riding, it feels really challenging. It feels like the biggest thing you can do is to just figure out what diagonal you're on and knowing how to switch it and feel like you're in rhythm with the horse. Eventually, that skill is going to become automatic and you're not even going to have to think about it. And you might even find that most of the time when you pick up the trot, you'll automatically be on the right diagonal because you're feeling the horse. So we want to make sure that any skills that we're starting to learn, we're focusing on it until it becomes automatic. So pick one skill at a time to focus on. And it doesn't have to be that you're focusing on that skill for weeks at a time. Maybe just that ride, you're focusing on practicing that one specific skill. Takeaway number 5 is probably my favorite, and that's don't rush. So I think we all sort of fall into this pattern or habit where we see what somebody else is doing and we really want to be progressing as fast as they are, and we compare ourselves and we're seeing what our trainer can do, and we just have this idea in our head of what we should be doing. But in reality, if we can just take a step back, build our basics, and not try to always rush to, riding the canter if we're still not super comfortable at the trot, or, we're not jumping 3 foot because we're not quite comfortable at 2.6. We really want to make sure that we're building a solid foundation by not pushing ourselves. And same thing goes for our horse. We don't want to push the horse too fast either. So don't rush. take your time and just build the skills slowly as you're going along. If you're looking for more great foundational tips like this, I highly recommend Gordon Wright's book. I can't wait to keep reading it and diving into it and sharing more of it with you here. In the meantime, I would love if you would leave a comment below. Tell me one skill that you've been working on that you just can't seem to grasp. I'd love to hear what you're working on, and I'll see you in the next video.